Israel has carried out airstrikes on the southern suburbs of Lebanon's capital, Beirut, for the first time in 5 days. It said it had targeted an underground warehouse used by Hezbollah. Well, the Israeli military issued an evacuation order early in the morning, telling residents of one building to leave immediately. Well, Israel has repeatedly targeted South Beirut in recent weeks, traditionally Hezbollah's stronghold in the city. Now, the group has continued to fire rockets across the border. Meanwhile, the Israeli military said that it had struck more than 140 Hezbollah targets in just the last 24 hours. So if we just take a moment and look at that live shot from Beirut, where we can see the plumes of smoke, where Israel says it's targeted strategic weapons hidden by Hezbollah. This is the first hit on Beirut in 5 days. So Israel is saying to be reviewing the strongest known written warning from the United States about a lack of aid getting into Gaza. That letter to the Israeli government said that the US military funding could be cut unless the problems were addressed within 30 days. Now, since this strongly worded letter was sent, the UN says that the first aid in 2 weeks has now entered northern Gaza. So let's cross over to Jerusalem to speak to our Middle East correspondent, Yolande Knell, who joins us live now. So Yolande, just bring us up to date in where we are in terms of aid finally getting into Gaza.
I mean, this is to the north of Gaza in particular, where there has been this Israeli military ground offensive that has gone on for more than 10 days now. And it was in the past couple of weeks, really, that we were getting UN officials increasingly sounding the alarm about the fact that no aid had been getting in through its crossings. About 400,000 people remain in the north of the Gaza Strip, they say. Now, on Sunday, which was the same day that this letter was sent by these two senior US administration officials to Israeli ministers, we did hear in the evening that about 30 lorry loads of flour from Israel's Ashdod port belonging to the World Food Programme had gone into Gaza, also a lorry load of fuel. And then that was followed up a day ago by another 12 lorry loads of aid getting in through the main northern crossing. I've been speaking to a senior UN official responsible for aid into Gaza, who was saying that they are hoping for more aid to get in again today. That does seem to sort of suggest that perhaps this letter did have some effect. We also had on Sunday the US Vice President Kamala Harris specifically talking about the concerns the Americans had about humanitarian conditions deteriorating in Gaza and reminding Israel of its obligations under international humanitarian law.
Yolande, when it comes to Israel, it's been defending itself on the airwaves today. A member of the Likud party was saying that they're accusing Hamas of using the aid that had previously been getting through. What do we make of this?
I mean, this is a consistent Israeli position, and there has been evidence in the past that Hamas has been able to secure some of the aid that has entered into Gaza. What humanitarian workers say now is there's a lot more issues around criminal gangs and smuggling and looting with the aid that manages to get through. They talk about the fact there is not a secure situation in Gaza when it comes to getting these lorry loads of aid in, and that is a major concern which the US letter also calls to be addressed.
Yolande, as always, many thanks from Jerusalem. Our colleague there, Yolande Knell, reporting live. Well, we can cross over from Jerusalem. Let's cross to Beirut, where we're joined by Hugo Bachega. And Hugo, we're just getting a line from AFP saying that the mayor of Lebanon is among those killed in these Israeli strikes on a municipality. This is according to local officials, and this is being reported by the AFP news agency. Are we aware? What more can we add to this?
Yes, so this is happening in the south of the country and the city of Nabatieh in the south, where it seems there was a wave of very heavy Israeli airstrikes. We've seen images emerging from Nabatieh showing several plumes of smoke, and again reports suggesting that it was a wave of airstrikes this morning, and our report suggesting that one of the locations hit was the local authority building where dozens of people were working, and reports suggesting that including the mayor was in this building the moment that this attack happened. So we're still waiting to hear official confirmation about what happened in Nabatieh, and obviously the possibility of casualties. But again, this is an area of Lebanon that has been heavily bombarded by the Israeli military in recent weeks, as the Israeli army continues with this offensive against Hezbollah, not only with airstrikes but also with a ground invasion of parts of southern Lebanon. And Nabatieh has been one of the key targets of this air campaign. We know that Hezbollah has a strong presence in that part of the country. The eastern Bekaa Valley as well has been repeatedly hit by the Israeli military. And this morning here, Beirut, the first time in nearly a week that Nabatieh, which is the area of Beirut where Hezbollah has a significant presence, was hit by Israeli airstrikes. The Israeli military said it had hit an underground weapons storage site being used by Hezbollah. There haven't been reports of casualties. We've seen images from this location hit showing that at least one building collapsed as a result of this airstrike. But again, Beirut being hit again after a days-long pause that apparently happened at the request of American officials who had demanded Israeli authorities stop or at least pause these airstrikes targeting Beirut. So again, these airstrikes today are happening across the country.
Okay, Hugo, as always, many thanks for bringing us up to date the situation in Beirut, and also the breaking news that AFP, the news agency, reporting that the mayor of Lebanon's Nabatieh, a town in the south of the country, as Hugo was describing, was among those killed in those Israeli strikes in the south of Lebanon.